Hello everybody, hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Conor, we're back here with another One Leeds video, your evening edition, and we're back here discussing Daniel Farke's press conference. Please, if you would, make sure you're liking the video, commenting, subscribe, and I hope you're enjoying the content. We have bonus content, as you guys know, on the Patreon. Make sure you check that out. Only £4 a month for around about 4 extra videos per week. Good golly, that's a lot of videos, isn't it? Where you're comprising everything I am doing on a daily basis. A lot of work, but I enjoy doing it. Of course I do. But as I say, guys, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I've got some big things coming for the channel. But I wanted to discuss something that today, which got me a little bit excited, a little bit sort of, I don't know, re-energized this afternoon. And it's Daniel Farke's press conference. And what I wanted to discuss as well when it came to Daniel and what's going on with him at this moment in time is he's really impressing me. I have to say there was some questions maybe at the very start of certain management when it came to Cresswell and when it came to Spence and other little bits and substitutions. But I think right now, and this happens, of course it does, with a winning run and a camp who's buoyed and confident and has a really strong mentality. You're seeing the fruits of what he's been doing over the past sort of like 3 to 4 months now. The rotation, keeping players happy, players coming in and playing at that 8, 9, 10 out of 10 status every single game. We are seeing such developments in Dan James. We're seeing developments in Willie Gnonto's game to a lesser extent, because I think technically he's always been very, very very able. But even Ethan Ampadu, when you're comparatively maybe looking at his time at centre back in previous stints at previous clubs, has he ever been this good? And this is something that I wanted to talk about today when it came to Ethan Ampadu. Ethan Ampadu, for me, and this is where, I've put in the title that you guys, I wonder if Daniel Farke's upset some Leeds fans with this. 8 wins on the bounce, 7 clean sheets. What does that scream to you? You cannot change a winning team. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard that over the last week, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20 days. And I completely understand that. We have a Welsh connection at the back. The strength is brilliant. The connection, the synergy, the partnership, as I keep mentioning, is clearly there. Now, I am not suggesting whatsoever you take an Ethan Ampadu out of that back line, but I love that Welsh warrior in midfield. And I don't want us, as a fan base, to forget how good he was in the midfield. People were talking about Harry Winks. They were talking about many other players, Wilt, Smallbone, many other players in the division, Luongo, in that space, and saying, look, you can't really compare Ethan Ampadu to X, Y, and Z because Ethan Ampadu's not as good. Ethan Ampadu was as good, and he is as good in that position. Not similar players to them all, but when you're looking at direct competitors, direct players who have maybe similar attributes to him, Ethan Ampadu rises. He is the cream of the crop. And I never want that to get forgotten because he was so exceptional in that position, and he's been absolutely exquisite at the back as well. We cannot forget that. But for me, we potentially have coming back in Pascal Struijk, and this was re-emphasised today, in my opinion, by Daniel Farke and many other Leeds fans. I've sat through the press conference, listened to it again. We have one of the best passers in the league. In fact, the best passer in the league, in my opinion. You could even put him in a midfield space, and I believe he'd do an absolutely fantastic job in there. He did it a couple of times in the Premier League under Marcelo Bielsa, if we do remember. Pascal Struijk coming back completes this Leeds United back line, in my humble opinion. Ethan Ampadu, I'd like to see him back in the midfield. And he was asked about it today. Baron Cross, my former colleague, asked Daniel Farke about, the makeup right now, the combinations, what's going right at Leeds, and everything's going right. We know that. But when you look at the back line, when you look at the midfield, Alaya Gruev, who's been a fan favourite, he's been excellent, and you look at Ethan Ampadu at the back, and he was asked, has there almost been a change when Pascal's gone out and Ethan's come in and Alaya's gone in the midfield? And he was very, very quick, Daniel Farke, to essentially say, this isn't because of Pascal. Pascal, when he comes back, he is going to be essentially in my plans. And he almost quelled absolutely everything when it came to people sort of with this inference. And we have seen it online, and we've seen it in the Leeds United space, that the reason Leeds are good right now is because Ethan Ampadu's in and Pascal Struijk's out. Now, I think there is a little bit of maybe sort of premeditated stuff with Pascal. I think some of the mistakes that he's made in the Premier League are sort of sticking in people's minds a little bit. But as I've said, in my opinion, I think this has been a real coming-of-age season for him. I think he's been excellent. At the tender age of 24, I think he's really stepping into his own. And the manager has backed this because 13 times in 14 appearances prior Pascal getting his injury, let's not forget he was captain of the club. Absolutely huge. I think that leaves people's memories a little bit. Pascal Struijk is the best passer in the division and one of the best passers in Europe, according to any metric that you look at. So it's not that Ethan Ampadu's been poor whatsoever. It's that we have that much strength in depth that any player that's come in, like Gruev, it can be Junior Firpo, it can be Patrick Bamford, it can be Willian Johnson, it can be whatever. Whichever player's come back in has done well. And I want to touch on that because the Ethan Ampadu, Pascal Struijk thing seems to be a little bit of competition. It's nice to have healthy competition, all this sort of stuff. But the framework of this Leeds United side, since Pascal's been out, has taken a whole change. A real change, which has seen Leeds on this upward trajectory. Now, Leeds haven't played any of the top 6 yet whilst Pascal's been out, and that needs to be taken into consideration, I should say. Because, before he was out, we're playing the likes of Ipswich, Leicester wasn't long before, and West Bromwich Albion. But when you're looking at the whole dimension of this Leeds side, it's drastically changed. Junior Firpo's come in for a consistent spell, which Firpo was never on Struijk's side. He didn't have a left-footed left-back. He had, with the greatest of respect, Sam Byram. Junior Firpo can open his body. He can go left. He can cut inside. He's better going forward. He's got a better aerial duel rate. He's got a better recovery rate. He's got a better rate at tackling people and recovering the ball in the attacking third than Sam Byram. There's a lot of metrics which, when Junior Firpo has been in the side, have elevated Leeds United as a side going forward. But also, defensively, Junior Firpo has been pretty decent. Now, we can bring that back again to Leeds not playing a top 6 side yet when Pascal's been out and Junior's been in, of course. But the build-up of Leeds United has been massively aided by Junior Firpo, who's been very, very, very good, in my opinion, defensively and offensively. We can nitpick and we can talk about certain elements of which he's not been great, but he has come up against Jonathan Rowe, 13 goals this season in the Championship, and he's also come up against Morgan Whittaker a couple of times, who's really failed, in my opinion, to dominate Firpo at all, which is things that we need to take into consideration. Firpo's been very good. The top of the pitch, when Pascal was involved, and we are talking about Pascal being out of the side here, because I think it's great to discuss this, because I think it's been a real contention point between the fans, and there's been a few arguments going on of the reason we're doing better now is because Pascal's out. But the whole framework's changed, as I've just mentioned. Firpo back in gives us a bit more variation going forward in transition, but defensively he's been very good as well. Up top, we had Joel Perreault and Rutter. We didn't know who was the 9. We were all having problems with this. We didn't have who's the 9, who's the 10, blah, blah, what's going on here. Pat Bamford's come in, and whilst I don't think he's a brilliant player, I'm not a massive fan of Pat Bamford. But what Bamford will always give you is channel runs. He'll split the defenders. He'll get in between the centre-backs and the full-backs, whether or not it's right or left. He can come deep. He's better in the air than Joel Perreault and Rutter, and Leeds have gone long. So systematically, there's variation when Pat Bamford's up top. So where there's been a lot of onus on Pascal to utilise a lot of his passing out from the back, which is excellent at, Leeds now with Pat Bamford up top would give Pascal Struijk that ability to clip the ball into Bamford's feet when he's fit, obviously, which we're hoping he's going to be for the Leicester game. He said he might be in contention for the game. So there's been a variance now in how Leeds play. A left-sided player on Pascal's left side would aid him greatly, because a lot of the onus wouldn't be put back on Pascal with an inverting Sam Byram. But also that ball that we can clip long now to Pat Bamford, and then Leeds can win the second balls in and around Pat Bamford, gives Leeds a little bit of fluidity when going forward. Obviously, Willian Johnso's come in, and I wouldn't say systematically he's made a great change, but he will get the ball deep and run at the fullback, whereas a lot of the time, Dan James likes the ball in and behind. But I think Pat Bamford and Junior Firpo have been the greatest systematic differences to what Leeds have been in 2024, in my opinion. I don't think there's been a fine line between Ampadu. There has been a fine line between Ampadu and Pascal Struijk, but any data metric will tell you that Pascal Struijk is one of the best centre-backs in Europe when it comes to passing. And Pascal's weaknesses are Joe's strength and vice versa. Joe, in my opinion, is exceptional at interpretation and anticipation, but I also think that he's quite weak at progressing the ball out from the back. That is what Pascal Struijk is very, very good at. Also, Pascal's got goals in his locker, our leading centre-back scorer. Where maybe Pascal is a little bit vulnerable is at points when it can come down to concentration and focus, which is Joe. Joe's, in my opinion, strength. Positionally, he's very, very good as well. So I think the beauty of this isn't that Ethan's bad at centre-back, but Ethan's superb in the central midfield space. And I think Daniel Farke today, we heard really him saying that, I'm paraphrasing here, reading between the lines, but when Pascal's fit, he comes back in. As I mentioned, the captain thing's huge. And a ball-playing centre-back of his level, his physical attributes, and the beautiful relationship him and Rodon had. And that's great credit to Joe Rodon for having this partnership with Ethan and Pascal. Means that as a three, you have an unbelievable relationship there in Pascal, Ethan, and Joe. Because Pascal and Ethan will 100% have built up a little bit of synergy there as well. But for me, Ethan Ampadu's best role is screening the back four. I think as a screener, he is absolutely superb and the best in the division. So yeah, guys, fascinating when it comes to this Pascal-Ethan debate. But it looks like right now, as of what we've heard from Mr. Farke today, that when Pascal comes back in, he will be straight back in when he's fit and ready. And that is something I'm looking forward to because I think it makes Leeds an even greater prospect to maybe even win the league. Who knows? But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is there going to be a bit of rotation when it comes to, Alaya and Ethan in the middle? Or is it going to maybe be Kamara and Ethan? But it's beautiful. It's great. This means that we've got competition. We've always wanted competition for places. We've got Nonto and James. We've got Firpo and Byram. We've got Pascal and Ethan. It's a really, really good situation that Leeds are in, but I'm really fascinated to hear what you guys think about this. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.